drunk?
How much you guys make?
I ended up making like almost 4,000.
Okay. Scrapping it?
All right, guys.
This guy's win 10,000 each in the tournament, so they go win 5,000.
They never lose in the season. Everyone else loses in the world.
On behalf of CueSports International, we'd like to welcome you to the U.S. Open One Pocket Championships for 2019, being held at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is George Teachea and Ben Sutherland bringing you the live action.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Good to be back with you, George.
Here we go again.
Too fast.
We're going and going.
My last
Corey
set, I did what
Deuel
you did.
and
I
John
decided to make it
Morra.
a little harder. I guess it worked
This
out.
is actually a third round match. Corey had a bye, defeated Bernie Pettipiece, and now meets John Morra. John Morra had a bye, defeated Chris Adams from Phoenix, and meets Corey in this head-to-head duel.
I like what you did there. This head-to-head duel. Yeah, both players have defeated part of the Arizona contingency.
That's right. They're picking on my boys from Arizona. Chris actually just got off of a match with Gus Brasino, who is also one of the top players out of Phoenix area. Shout out to Gus. Bernie Pettipiece defeated David Zepp and then lost to Corey Deuel in a match that you just got to witness if you're on the live stream with us, joining us in the live stream. And again, Benny and I would like to thank you on behalf of CueSports International for joining in, tuning in, and spending some time with us. This is One Pocket, folks, and we are sponsored by jhelfrit.com, Cyclop, Kamui, Predator, Simonis, JB Cases, and Discount Custom Apparel.
Also, shout out to Diamond Billiard Products. Thank you for their constant support as well. Folks, we did announce in the last match, if you were tuned in and paying attention, we did announce toward the latter part of that match we were supposed to see SVB versus the winner of Gabe Owen and Mark Vidal in our 4 p.m. feature match. However, the Gabe Owen-Mark Vidal match has not completed yet, and we would like to keep on our schedule we have for you folks. So we brought you another great match, Corey Deuel versus John Morra.
One of the things about our sponsors, Predator is the official cue, chalk, and glove of CueSports International. Simonis Cloth is the official cloth of CueSports International. And please visit kamuibrand.com. And when in Vegas, frequent Griff's on Decatur and Twain, just about a mile and a half from the Rio.
Yep, walking distance.
Yeah, I even walked it once.
That's right.
I should walk it more, though. I get off my lazy feet. You thought I was going to say something different.
Yeah, could have gone either way.
Yeah, 21 players in this U.S. Open.
Corey with a extremely strong finish a few days ago in Louisiana. Coming up, runner-up to Alex Pagulayan, who's also here. Alex will be playing Mitch Ellerman in our 6 p.m. match. I'm not sure if that's going to be our feature table match or not. We will find out shortly and let you know. Yeah, Alex with a big win. Corey lost his first match to Scott Frost in that event. Managed to claw all the way back to the finals, defeating a number of champions. Shout out to Jeremy Jones as well for his strong third-place finish in that event.
And I believe this is the first time I see John Morra play One Pocket. But the nice cue ball.
Yes, this...
The little dipsy-do?
Yeah,
What you call that?
I'm in agreement with you on both statements. This is the first I've seen him play One Pocket as well, and that was a great shot. Stealing that cue ball out of there, or excuse me, the 7 ball, holding the cue ball very nicely, as you mentioned.
Our matches will be, if you're tuning in the live stream, the 12, 2, 4, and 6 today, tomorrow, and the following. We will have an 8 p.m. match, I believe, tomorrow night.
Awesome, awesome.
We will try to get done with the final. Started out at 6, and we should be, it'd be a race to 4. So.
That's right. All matches throughout the duration of the event are races to 3, with the exception of the final match. Be extended out 1 more rack. That will be a race to 4. If you're just tuning in for the first time this week, or if you're not familiar, Mr. Shane Van Boning won our U.S. Open Bank Pool and our U.S. Open Straight Pool events. And
very nice shot by John Morra.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Shane also won his first match today, and if I'm not mistaken, over the last 7 days and 3 events played, I think Shane has lost 1 match. That was the hot seat match and the bank pool event to Billy. I don't believe he's lost another match. I think he stayed on the winner's side all the way through the straight pool.
Was it the hot seat match to Billy or the match before the hot seat?
That was the hot seat match.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Shane came back through and then beat him 5-4. Is it 5-4? Yeah. In the finals of the bank pool event.
Mm-hmm.
So Shane with a commanding lead on the all-around. If players bought into all 3 events, they were eligible for the all-around bonus. The winner gets a $3,500 bonus and a berth into the 2019 Predator World 10-Ball Championships. We will talk about that here shortly. That'll be coming up in July at the Rio.
Yeah, now's a good time, the 17th through the 20th. During all the events that we're going to be having, the 17th through the 27th.
Yeah, we've got, at least 4 events. We've got the Diamond Las Vegas Open, the 17th through the 20th, I believe.
$25,000 added.
And that's limited to 128 players. The entry fee for that is $275. To sign up for that, check out playcsipool.com/events. We also have the Predator World 10-Ball Championships that we were just talking about, 100,000 added. That is the 22nd through the 26th, I believe, of July.
That is correct.
In the Predator Arena at the Rio. And both of those events will be side by side with the USA Pool League National Championships and the BCA Pool League World Championships. All events held at the Rio. And that will all be taking place the 17th through the 27th at the Rio. Again, check out playcsipool.com/events for all the information you need there.
Yeah, the BCA Pool League World Championships. You're going to have thousands of players, 300+ diamond pool tables, 40+ exhibitors. You're going to have all kinds of people. Just register now at playbca.com.
Lots of events coming up. We got a couple other U.S. Opens we'll talk about as well. The U.S. Open 10-ball and the U.S. Open 8-ball.
And same to be said for the USA National Championships. You can also register there at playusapool.com.
Get all the info you need. Sign yourself up. Sign your team up.
And meanwhile, Corey is on his way to win the first game. He's going to want to come across this ball. He's just going to follow into it, I believe. Nothing real fancy. Well, he's banking the 12. Might even bank the 6. No, he's cutting this ball.
I think Corey's got 7. Yeah, we'll get that graphic updated here.
5, 8. Yeah, he's going to cut this ball.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think he's going to put all his effort into making that.
Yeah, and he didn't.
Didn't
And
quite
now
get there.
John Morra. He's gotten rather fortunate there to block everything, leaving over a ball. Could he be possibly been playing that like that? That he rolls behind the
I don't think.
14?
I think all of his effort was into that 11. He might have just gotten fortunate to land there.
He just didn't worry about where the cue ball was going. He figured on making the ball.
Yeah, he knew he only needed one more. I don't think he anticipated missing, and
It didn't matter.
That's going to
He's
do
got
it.
the one he needs. I'm surprised John's going to have him shoot it, and so is Corey.
there might be some sort of concession rule or something. We're not sure. So just like that.
Corey Deuel wins this break, and now John's turn to break. It's alternate break format. They lag for break. Corey won that, which means he'll have the advantage in case they are tied at 2. So in one pocket, when you're racing to 3, win your lag.
Now let me ask you something, because you've got much more experience with one pocket than I do. You play left-handed. I play right-handed. When it's your break, do you opt to break from the same side every time?
Yes.
And which side would that be?
The
if
right
we're looking
side.
at the table right here
The
as,
right
as you're
side.
viewing it.
As you view the table, I'm going to take the pocket on the right side, because you can reach a lot more balls being left-handed to run balls when you're running balls.
That's where I was going with that, just for anybody who's not big up on one pocket, myself included. That was one thing I did learn kind of early on, that a left-handed player is going to favor the right-hand side, and a right-handed player is going to favor the left-hand side, like you said, just due to reachability on certain shots.
And a tall guy like you reaches a lot more balls than I do. So.
And actually, a tall person, Bobby Emmons, was going over some one-pocket stuff with me one day, and he set up a shot that I wouldn't be able to reach as a right-handed player, and he knew I wouldn't be able to reach it because he and I are about equal height. And he set up the shot and said, shoot that. And then he set up the same shot to the other pocket, and it was much, much easier to reach.
Sure.
And the reason I asked this question to begin with, I wanted your opinion first off, but for those that don't know, John Morra is fluent in both right-hand and left-hand play. So I don't think it matters a whole lot to him what side Corey breaks from. If he's in that position where there's a shot that he can't reach comfortably left-handed, he's not going to have a problem switching to right-handed for that shot.
Very good point.
So Morra might have a little bit of an advantage in that aspect.
I think in the creativity and in the experience of playing one pocket, Corey will have the edge.
Yes.
Over John
And I think
Morra.
that's going to be a bigger edge than the right-handed, left-handed aspect. So yeah, that's going to play more of a factor.
And keep in mind that I do believe I spoke with John, and I asked him if he'd ever played snooker. If he played snooker, you know, at any given time, he said yes. But he kind of changed his stance to a pool stance instead of the snooker stance.
Yeah, he's got more of your traditional
Sure.
pool player
He said that was
approach.
intentional.
And we are kind of rambling on a little bit here. Corey took a little bit of a break.
We went over some of our sponsors. jhelford.com. Find the book Pool Wars and more Pool Wars.
Thank you, Mr. Helford, for your kind words and your contribution to our event here. If you look at the 9-ball, folks, we've got a pretty decent view of it right here. It's a little bit different than the rest of the balls. If you're not familiar, that is one of the Cyclop Hyperion 9-balls. It does come with your traditional 9-ball as well, but for whatever reason, we've opted to
put that one out there just to let you know.
Put the big one out there.
When you buy a set of the Cyclop Hyperion balls, it comes with an extra 8-ball, 9-ball, and 10-ball.
And cue ball.
And cue ball.
Comes with a whole extra row of balls. Usually you get 16 in a set. You've got your 15 object balls and 1 cue ball.
So it's not a square anymore? The ball set is not a square, it's a rectangle?
It's a rectangle now, yep.
And I believe Corey is back in the house.
I believe that's
and coming to the table.
A 5x4 rectangle, if math makes sense.
Now this was John's break, is that correct?
Yes, Corey won the leg.
So what will Corey, how will he return serve here? Is he coming off that? See, he's going to come off the, I'm not sure if he's going to come off or just shoot right at the bottom rail. coming off the 10. No, he's just going right into it. There you go. What do you like here, Benny Breaks?
I don't know.
I kind of like banking the 11 ball into the 5. If you're, when you're at the table, if your angle allows you to do that without risking a double kiss, I like that. Because you got to put the cue ball over to the way over so he can't cut the 8 ball in. Because the 8 ball does go. And Corey will waste no time in shooting at that 8 ball. But John says, I see something different. He's cutting this ball thin.
Gonna come underneath the 2.
Apparently he is. He's giving up a bank shot. That was no bueno.
That could be costly. Although I'm not sure if the 8 passes the 2. I think it does. And I believe the 2 also passes the 12.
I think he's going to go into, I'm not sure if he can go into the 11 ball with the cue ball. If he can't, he might choose something else.
Yeah, that's a good assessment. If he opted to bank that 3 and was unsuccessful, he's likely selling out a few balls to that lower right. He doesn't want to do that. Like you said, if he could bank that ball and nudge the 11, that would make him a little happier, but I don't think the angle allows for that. I think he's going to track a little bit closer toward the 1 ball.
It looks like he's going to shoot at the 11. No, I think he's banking the 3. He keeps changing his mind. Come on, Corey. You're making me change mine. I can't tell from the angle down here, so the shot should have something to do with the 11 or the 3. If he could take out the 11 and put the cue ball between the 5, 7, he might opt for that. Otherwise, if he can also bank the 3 into the stack and do something with the white ball, as long as he doesn't leave it there. He was able to shoot. Yeah, and he was able to run into the 11. So that was, if you could make sure you can hit that 11, that was the shot all day long. In fact, I'm surprised he came real close to making the 12.
Yeah, he'd have been in a pretty good spot if he did make that 12. He's got position on the 3 or the 10-3 if he wants to get risky.
He's got a shot on the 3 here. I believe this crosses.
That's what he's looking at.
He's trying to make sure he doesn't have a kiss, because if it kisses, he gives up the 10.
You got
The 12,
SBB in the background there.
A little bit before the match, he was sitting right where Corey's sitting now,
Yeah.
or off to the side, even closer. He was sitting right by the table.
He's just so used to being on streams. What? I'm not up? All right.
Well, John's no stranger to 1 pocket. He's already gotten these little finesse kick shots under his belt. Kicks this ball really soft, really nice. Leaving Corey something to think about.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'd be doing here. He doesn't want to shoot the 2 away from his pocket. I don't think the bank is on the 12 is the right shot.
Well, he could shoot the 12 into the 3 and go 2 rails with the cue ball up by that 7-5 again.
Oh, I see.
Or even into the 10, but he wants to get it close to something because he doesn't want to give up a bank shot. And if he hits the 12 ball that thick, it's going to have to travel some, so it might move the 3. So let's see what he does with this.
Is he trying to go off that 11
yeah,
and back toward his hole?
he was trying to go off the 11 back towards his hole, exactly. But I think what would have happened there is it would have kissed the cue ball. If you notice, the cue ball was on the same
Yeah,
track.
it was going in that same
Yeah,
way.
it could have easily kissed the cue ball. Or maybe he was playing it off the ball so that it wouldn't do that. And, he just caught it too thick. But it worked. Now, see, I like banking the 10 ball between the 5, is that the 3? The 3 and the 2 to go through there and come into the 12. You're banking it straight across so it comes over and hits the 12, and the cue ball goes underneath on the other side of the 3.
Is the 2 going to let that happen?
I think so. I think it goes right through there, and the cue ball comes right over here.
Almost to me, it looks like you can hold it or just bank it under the, bank it behind the 3. Bank the 2. Play the 2.
Keep in mind, when I call shots like that, it's because I am crazy.
So we'll see.
All depends just what the angle, what I see on the screen. No, you're right. The 2 ball may not let that happen. So scratch that.
And I don't know if he can bank that 2 without, or the 10 without hitting the 3.
Well, I'm not banking it at the hole. I'm banking it at the 12 ball.
Mr. Smooth, John Morra, calling for our referee, John Lehman.
You see, I'm not trying to make the ball straight into the hole. I want to bank it over and hit the 12.
Figure out if
So
this
it goes
11
down.
ball goes on the spot or not. It's not fully on the spot. It's not fully on the spot, but it's touching the 6.
That's good. Yeah, good. As long as the base of the ball right. Yep.
Oh,
So Corey unintentionally pocketed the 11 ball on his previous shot, spotted it back up. John Morra called over our referee, John Lehman, to take a look at the spot placement to make sure it was valid. John Morra is saying it's on the top of the spot toward the head of it. Our referee, John Lehman, said as long as the base of the ball is touching the spot, it's good.
So anywhere on the spot.
Otherwise, that ball likely would have spotted up between the 6 and 9 if it fits. Otherwise, it would be below the 10 ball.
Nice cue ball. Up close.
Mm-hmm.
Up close and personal to that 2 ball and the 3 ball. Gives them less options. The closer you, if you can freeze that cue ball to something every time, your opponent's going to hate you. A friend of mine once was telling me about his experience with playing a great Filipino player by the name of Jose Parrica. And he says he kept freezing him up against the stack and freezing him up against the stack. And Mr. Parrica says, all the time in jail, man. All the time in jail.
I haven't heard that name in quite some time.
Yeah, he's a great player. Absolutely great player.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first Filipinos to come out here from the Philippines. Efren followed suit.
I remember when Mitch Ellerman played Jose Parrica in the 2008, I want to say.
I think it was 2008 or 2007. Mitch was on our
The U.S. Bar Table Championships.
BCA team, and he went out to Reno and played there, and he doubled it, Mr. Parrica,
That's
for
right.
the championship.
He sure did. 8 ball.
Remember that very, very well.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jay Helfert was doing the commentary on that match.
I mean, the guy from Jay Helford, is it in his Pool Wars?
Should be.
Should be, yeah.
So John Morra, a.k.a. Mr. Smooth,
Mr. Smooth.
trying to figure out how to address this 3 ball
I like
or 2
I
ball.
like leaving the 3 ball there and banking the 2 ball up by the 10 or off the 10 for his pocket. I'm taking the cue ball straight up table, just past the side pocket. Might even bank into the stack with the cue ball behind the 3.
John Morra celebrated his 30th birthday with us
Just a couple days ago,
a
yeah.
couple of days ago. He took a similar route to what you said. He kind of blasted into the
Yeah.
stack knowing that he was pushing stuff toward his hole.
Opened it up. Look how aggressive that was.
Yeah.
That was actually, and he didn't give up. It doesn't look like he gave up a return bank unless he can see the 6 good. But the 5 ball's in a very, very nice place for John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Corey's going to have to be careful now. A little more careful, I should say.
There's a shot right here that I actually like and have used, and I'm not sure if it's a good shot or a bad shot, but I know I've used it successfully, and that's drawing the ball off the deuce underneath the 5. But I think he can get there off this too. I think this is what he's doing now. So either way, that was the place to put the cue ball, and that's the place where he put it. And that's what I was looking for. Now see, I need to get more familiar recognizing when I can do that off of balls that are close to it, because that was much easier than trying to draw the ball with speed underneath there.
And now Morra's got his hands full.
Mr. Morra has definitely got his hands full here.
He's in a tricky spot. If he goes to the right, thins the 5 and goes to the right, he's certainly likely to sell out one of those 3 balls, the 4, the 7, or the 11.
He's got a path, if he goes to the right, to go between the 7 and the 11, but the side pocket's there, so that's no good.
I think he's going to try to go between the 6 and the 3 lightly.
And he did. Went between the 6 and the 9, but
If Corey can reach this comfortably, he might attack that 3.
I don't know that
Probably
he'll play
not.
that 3 ball.
That's the dumb one pocket player in me coming
No,
up.
I
The
think
overly aggressive one.
Yeah. He might be looking at playing that 14 ball off the 9. He's looking at it. Whether he plays it or not is a horse of a different color, but he's looking at it. It's tasty. A lot of these players like those little carom shots.
And that is what he's looking at. He's pointing right at that 14 ball.
Yeah, that 5 ball looms. It's very dangerous. A shot there, and Mr. Morra can control his cue ball well enough to do some major damage, if not win the game. If he makes this, he could possibly win the game. Possibly in Corey Deuel. Probably.
If he's playing it off the 9, I feel like the 9's too low. Unless maybe the 14 plays off the 3 as well.
It looks like he might play the cue. Be able to play the cue ball to the rail and behind the 5.
Yeah, it did come.
He tried.
It did come an inch or 2 low. Yeah, I was afraid that there was a potential for a big sellout there.
Oh, there was potential for selling out, and there was a potential for winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 50-50. And I think his reasoning behind that was, I'm up 1 game. We're on break. I still, I'll get the break next if I lose this game. And I feel I can win that game and take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, he knew there was a hefty reward. Fortunately,
And that does. Oh, that's good. That's fine. I think he would have rather clipped the 10 and got on the 9, but because now he's got to travel forward and get on the 9 or the 4
yeah,
or the 7.
I think from here I'm going to try to come above the 4 and the 7. In between the 4 and the 2.
He might just come above the 2. I'm not sure. Let's see what he does. Is he just going to 2 rails or just, yeah.
Just
he went
like
to
that.
the 4.
Just like that. And if he overshoots or undershoots, he's got a couple of options with the 2 and the 7.
But he made sure he did not kiss the ball. Didn't run into the 4 ball because that stops. Well, he would have had the 9 if he needed it.
And he appears to have just a faint angle, enough to drift over and put him on the 7.
Yeah.
And from there, he can work down to the 10 or the 15-13 combination. He's got plenty of options at that point.
I don't think he hold for the 7. I think he goes for the 9 next,
Okay.
or the 10.
You're very right, sir.
Yeah, because holding for the 7.
A little more angle than I thought there on that one. Thought it was straighter.
He might even shoot the 6 and bump the 15.
Lots of options here.
Yeah.
He only
Here's
need-
when you can pick and choose and shoot your strengths. Do I like cutting the ball down the rail? Or would I rather just, well, if he shoots the 10, he has to finesse that ball around the 6 or go forward. So he's going to be looking at the 6 ball. And the 15 is his object. Come into that, and then he opens up the 13 and the 9.
He's got to make sure if he does do that to hit the left side of the 15. If he hits it square in the face or on the right side, he could end up.
He can just avoid it altogether. And he did avoid it. I think he had to English the ball to make sure he didn't hit it.
Some outside on that ball. Spin away from it.
Now he just draws this back to the. He's still going to hit the 15. I believe. Shape on the 13. And from there, depending on his angle, whether he goes up for the deuce or stays there for the 10 is up to him. Might even come down for the 3. Yeah.
It's a little deceiving, but he can
Yeah.
see all of that 13. I'm looking down from a different angle here, off screen. He's got all of it.
You always have that line, don't you?
I've got it right here. Good cue ball there. 2 balls away from tying the score line at 1 rack apiece.
Seven ball, 10 ball, and it's game Mr. Morra. John Morra from Canada. Wearing the nice shiny shoes.
Yep. Always looking slick. All right, 1 rack apiece. Mr. Corey Deuel, the Prince of Pool, breaking rack number 3. See Corey asking questions before he touches anything, just to make sure he's not going to give up a foul if the rack truly isn't over.
If you had a coin up there.
Corey playing a little mental warfare on Johnny Morra.
How's that?
He said, "Didn't you have a coin on the rail? Didn't you?" He was implying, "Didn't you owe a ball?" And then Corey and John said something. I didn't hear what John said, but Corey replied, "I'm just messing with you."
Nice break. Pretty classic for 1 pocket. Let's see how John handles the shot after the break. This is a pretty good break. I don't believe you can see the 15 or get to the 15, but you may be able to see the whole 5 ball. If he can do that, he may come off the left side of the lower side of the 5 and get underneath the 15 ball. Either under it or on the side of it. Like that.
It's a good shot.
Yes, so that was a very, very accurately struck ball. To kick that ball out of there where he couldn't sell out. This 1 ball, this 1 ball banks, and the cue ball can go up towards the side pocket on the right.
Load this ball up with some inside spin.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to hit the 6 or the 4. Well, he wouldn't mind if he clipped the backside of the 4 a little bit, but that's.
Oh, he's going to go all the way down table, not just stay over there. Okay.
Don't see any dead balls or wired combinations.
You know, if we were kind of messing around and I was playing with Mitch Hellerman here, he would 4-rail this 8 ball in a heartbeat. It's one of his favorite shots. Of course, in a game and competition, you have to be pretty.
I don't know if he's going to pull that shot against
crazy
Alex in
to
his
shoot
next
that.
match.
He might, because you can't move against him.
That's true. He's about the best in the world when it comes to moving.
Yeah. And Mitch feels like that 4-railer might be a little high percentage for him. I kid, folks. That's just all in jest. We like Mitch. He's actually helping us with the commentary throughout the course of this U.S. Open 1 pocket and straight pool and bank pool championships. He's been in the booth with us, and he'll be in the booth with us when he's not playing. He's playing in this tournament. So the games that some of the matches that he won't be involved with, he may be in the booth. Meanwhile, John is going to just come off this ball and lay the cue ball on the 3 down here on the bottom, I think. Yep. Came down. You know, of course, this is the second time Corey plays, and it's the second time he has a ball lined up kind of fairly dead along the rail.
Yeah, we did see that a little further up
Yeah,
table in the
right,
first
yeah,
first set,
first set.
didn't we?
But is he going off this 1 ball or the 6 ball and up into the stack? Against the stack, or just going to take, there we go. Cue ball's in the stack. That's what I thought.
While we're on the topic of Mitch and Alex, I just received confirmation that that will be our 6 p.m. feature match. So approximately an hour and 25 minutes from now, barring this match going over 2 hours, we will see Alex Pagulayan
And Mitch Ellerman.
Mitch Ellerman.
And if it does go over 2 hours, please bear with us. I believe we'll hold off and we'll have that match for you. John Morra looking at the 4 ball, looking at what he can do. Corey's got a pretty nice arsenal down there
Yes, he does.
in front of his pocket.
7 or 8 that are shootable. 6 or 7.
Well, he's got, let's see, the 6, 3, 1, and possibly the 15 ball. It's up by the 5 by the side pocket. All go to that pocket. And the combo.
And the
we know
combo,
goes
yeah.
to the- So John's in a little bit of trouble.
Yes.
He's
Corey.
looks like he's kicking this ball to hit a ball and get on the rail and stay beneath those balls so as not to give up anything. This is a tough, tough shot. He's got to hit this perfect.
Is he kicking at the 1?
Yes. Either way, it cost him a ball, but he likes it. He's made a good shot. Now he's going to have a coin on the table.
Yep. Corey made sure. Corey pulled his own coin out for him. He said, I got you,
This'll
Johnny.
remind you, I got you.
I got you, buddy.
I brought plenty of pennies, and I brought new ones too. Nice shiny ones. In one pocket, if you don't hit a rail after contacting a ball, it is a foul, which will cost you a ball. If you do that 3 times consecutively, it'll cost you a game, or the game you're playing in. Again, he kicked at this ball.
Look where he's left the cue ball.
Very same. He does it again.
Look where he left the cue ball, too. Johnny's going to be jacked up over 2 or 3 balls
He's
into
done
this.
this twice that he didn't. You know, you would think he's kicking to try to make it. I don't think so now. Not after that shot. I think he purposely kicked and let the ball come off the rail so that it would come over to where it's at. What a great shot.
Yeah.
To be able to kick that accurately. Because you could take the ball in
He's
hand
done
and
it
not
twice
get there.
now, so yeah, it's.
Yeah.
At what point is it not luck anymore?
Yeah. We thought he was fortunate the first time, but the second time, not so much.
Johnny just containing a little bit here.
I would say he could play this 4 ball and leave the cue ball up table, but he doesn't want to expose the 1-5. He wants to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, he wants to stay protecting those 2.
Mm-hmm. So what can you see? You can't see the 9 or the 10, I don't believe. You know, it's not a bad shot here is to go ahead and fire this 4 ball towards towards this hole and take the cue ball 3 rails behind the 3. Nope, he's going to leave it up there on top. But see what he's used to protect the 5 and the 1? He's used the 15 and the 13 ball. And this is how cagey he is. Not that I would see this, but as I see this now, I didn't see it before. I was thinking he had to be below the rack to protect them. But no, he's used the 2 balls that are up above. So he's using the entire table to protect his real estate.
Mm-hmm. And that takes incredible cue ball control.
Well, that, and also vision to see it. A lot of guys don't see that. I mean, I didn't see it. Not that I'm, you know, but I'm not a bad one pocket player. I'm just not a,
I am.
apparently not a very good one.
It's bad when Shane offers you like 18-3.
He's not offering you 18-3.
I didn't say it was me. I just
Okay.
probably something along the lines of like 16-4.
Very nice shot by John. And see, this is what you have to look for when you're in trouble. Look to leave the cue ball in front of your opponent's pocket. And he not only looked for that, he brought it up off the bottom rail and behind balls to make it tougher for Corey to get out. Corey might just go ahead and cut this ball past the 15 to the rail and bank it back and send the cue ball to the lower part of your screen on the right side. A lot of right English.
Can you avoid the one doing that?
Yes. A lot of right English. He's using a lot of right English too. Yeah, he should be able to hit the diamond, the middle diamond on the side rail. Oh, no. Wow.
He turned out all right.
No, not. I think he's giving up the 8.
That's not an easy shot.
If he hasn't given up the 8, he's given, will he shoot that 13 into the 15? Draw the ball up a little bit and slide that 15 over?
Not a bad shot. He's just going to have to make sure he clears the 13 as well.
Yeah, well, the 13 would come off the right side of the 15 and down by the 3.
Okay, so you're not hitting the 15
no,
full.
No,
okay.
no. You're gonna cut it up and cut it and bring the 13 down by the 3 ball. And it's up to you how hard you want to hit it.
I think he feels like the 8's a little too risky of a shot.
And he's just going to try to lay him up against the 12, apparently.
Can he shoot the 5 and bump the 9 toward his hole? I know the 10's kind of a little bit in the way, but he can at least get it in the right direction.
He wants the cue ball either up against the 12. Might not be bad off or a bad serve to just go ahead and bank the 12 ball into those 2 balls up there and stop the cue ball. But he's going to change his mind again and again.
Looks like he's hitting this pretty full.
He hit it just like I described. But his 5 balls come back over, or 3 balls come over, and giving up a shot. He hit it too hard. I wouldn't have hit it that hard.
And I think Corey can float this too. Take the cue ball over to the right-hand lower side rail. Kind of hide out behind the 15 and 10. If he gets lucky or hits it really good, he could end up with a shot on one of those balls. Now, if he would have missed that ball, he would have been in trouble.
Well,
but he knew.
There's certain times where you just have to buckle down and say, gotta make you.
You get to see a 3-ball combination here.
And you would shoot that ball with no problem when you're playing rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially for a player his caliber.
Yeah, Corey plays okay, doesn't he? To say the least.
Well, I know he can make combos. He's kicked.
He's got another one too.
He's got another one. You mean that 5 ball?
Mm-hmm. Depending on his angle, he might have a shot on the 7 next. He does. He may opt for the 11, but he does have a shot on the 7. He could shoot the 11 and put himself back in line on that 7. But I think he's about as ideal as you can get on that ball.
Yeah, he's
so
perfect. And he'll get on the 6 next.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't come down a little bit further and then go up for the 9 next.
Yeah, he's got a little bit elevated here.
He's going to go to the left side of the 13 so he can get on the 9. No, I lied. He just said, I'm pocketing this ball and coming straight up. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. He's got a 7-ball lead at the moment.
He's got just a hair of an angle, and I think he can get on this 9. Now, my question is, will he shoot it?
The 9-ball? I'm going to say yes, given the shot he attempted in the previous rack. The 13-ball, I believe it was, that he tried to back cut on and kind of hung it. It was more of a cut than this was. But for some reason, I thought Corey only needed 1. He needs 2. So he might pass on that. So if he doesn't make it, could be trouble. You're going to see him play a lock up behind the 1-ball.
1-ball. Either you'll lock it up or you'll kick the 1-ball very softly to tie up the 1-8. But he could make it dead, too.
He's going to use the 8 to negotiate the cue ball under the 1.
Either way, he's moving the ball away from his pocket, and he used the 1 to tie up the other 2 balls. Much smarter
Yeah,
shot.
now none of those 3 balls go. I don't see a possible combo either.
See, I was thinking he might push the 1 ball in front of the 8, possibly tie him up, but he ran the risk of lining it up dead. The way he did this is much more creative and much more effective than what I would have attempted. That's why he's playing 1 pocket and I'm doing commentary.
Decent
Corey
shot there
will
from
just,
Johnny.
he'll just get rid of all 3 balls, I think. You know, the thing about
Do you think
that,
do you think those 3 balls bug him? I mean, they're
No.
near Johnny's hole, but none of them go. I think he's.
yeah, but he's got a lead. So when you have the lead, you want to push balls up table to give him less possibility of running balls.
Okay.
But he's not going to do that. He's going to go ahead and let them take care of themselves, I guess.
Play the 9 off the 2, off the 14. Down toward his hole.
See, when I see pros like this do it, I can understand their thinking. But when I see average players that are playing 1 pocket leave balls in front of their opponent's holes, it seems to always come back and haunt them. Because if they can, you know, if John gets a chance to somehow push a ball in that area and open those balls up,
Wow.
he found a dead one.
Didn't see that.
He found a
He
dead one
certainly
and played
did.
shape. He sure did, yeah.
Wow, what a shot. Man, this guy's creative. Holy
He
cow.
doesn't play the 9 ball like you thought he might. He plays the dead one from the top, and as soon as he hit it, it was just dead.
He's looking at the 2 here. He's going to send the cue ball over off the 9 toward the 10 and 1. And he will keep that in mind, too. So I think he'll do all he can to eliminate any scratch possibility to the lower right. Cutting the 9 is less risky in the scratch sense, but it's tougher to pocket. And that's what he's looking at. He's changed his mind. He addressed the 2 ball originally. Now he's coming down on the 9 ball. Maybe he is afraid that there's a chance of scratching in that lower right. He knows if he plays this pocket speed, even if he misses, it's going to leave John in a tricky spot. Corey takes a 2-1 lead. Great shot. Corey really, I don't want to say showing off, but really showing a side that you don't see too often. Just so creative. Coming up with shots that, I mean, we got 2 fairly decent pool players in the booth here, and
Been marking it up there.
he's tricking us a lot.
Well, you know, finding
see that
dead
dead
balls out of the stack or finding
even
balls
see
that
that
go to
dead
your
ball.
hole. See, John just said, I didn't even see that dead ball.
You're
Corny
cool.
says, I didn't see it either. I think he's pulling his leg. He would not have shot that, you know. The way he gave up the 10, didn't he? Oh, they were tied up. That's right. The balls on the bottom were tied up.
So Corey with a 2-1 lead. Johnny Morra breaking rack number 4.
Yes, he is.
He's going to need them both from here. This will be his last break of the set.
Now, see, this is what the players have complained about this rule here. that he's able to continue to shoot.
Corey's not happy. He kind of flipped his hand out a little bit, and he said that counts. Johnny said, yes, sir, that does count. I know the rules. I'm going to use them to my advantage. Yep.
It's very... Oh, he went to ask him. Yes, it does.
Had a couple people standing here just waiting to give the answer. Thank you, Trace Kane. Trace does a lot for the game of pool in Arizona.
Yes, he does. He was running the WPBA.
PBA, yep.
Yeah, for some time they were out of bullshooters. He
I think
ran a one-pocket tournament, weekly one-pocket tournament, monthly one-pocket
I
tournament.
think he had something to do with the AWBT as well.
Yes.
So yeah, he certainly helps the game.
He's actually, well,
Super nice guy too. He makes his way out here, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year for different events. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd time this year I've seen him already.
well, he likes coming to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be here this summer during the BCA Pool League World Championships and the USA Pool League National Championships, the 17th through the 27th. I can guarantee you he'll probably play in the Diamond Las Vegas 9-Ball Open at $25,000 added with a $275 entry fee, limited to 128 players. I think I said that. Did I say that already? I did.
Earlier in the match,
Earlier?
not at the start yet. Not in this
But
conversation.
John, is he looking at this? I can't tell if he beat the kiss and he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to find out.
Well, it's a little deceiving from our angle here. I've got a different angle personally off the screen, and to me it looks like he can just bank this ball and draw away from the kiss, essentially leaving himself the same bank again on the 10 ball.
Yeah, but then he sells out the 10 ball.
This is true. I don't know if he can beat it by stunning or running forward. I think he has to, yep, just like that. It's risky because he's obviously leaving the 10 ball if he doesn't make it, but he couldn't avoid that kiss if he stunned or ran forward.
Correct.
Maybe that's why he was tapping out of frustration. He didn't want to, he knew he could make it this way, but he didn't want to risk selling out the 10.
And you'll notice John is shooting left-handed with the glove.
And he's got his cue stick directly underneath his left eye, which probably suits him a little better now that he's playing left-handed. He used to play right-handed and kept his cue underneath his left eye as well, so he's kind of stretching underneath his body as a right-handed shooter. Donnie recently, in the last year or two, made the switch to playing left-handed full-time. We did see in the bank pool competition that he was breaking right-handed.
Yes, we did. He'd take his glove off and break right-handed. But, and I think Ben and I had the conversation regarding which pocket you would choose being left-handed and which pocket you would choose being right-handed, and how it helps John to be ambidextrous, because it doesn't matter which pocket, he'll just shoot either side.
Yep.
And play world-class speed.
Yeah, that's incredible. To not only do it with one hand, but to do it with the other.
Stopped it perfect. Yep, sure as heck. Now, see, if he was thinking about hitting that ball hard enough to get the 9-ball over to his side of the table, keep in mind that that 14 ball would have come all the way down and given up a shot. So it was a very smart play to play it like he did, and freeze the cue ball on the 5.
Corey gonna thin this 5 ball, go 2 rails, and snuggle the cue ball back to the rack.
No,
Nope.
just going to
Just
go ahead and let him handle things from here. He says, I'm going to protect the 9, because as long as the 9 ball's there, he can't bank balls down table in front of his hole. He's going to bank this 8 ball into the 1 and slide the cue ball across the 9.
not going to get much closer than that.
That could have been trouble.
Yeah.
Kisses the one, it's coming over into the stack. So it should have been okay though, because it wasn't hit that hard. And it probably hits the 3 and there's enough space that it buffers and stays on that side. Yeah, I don't think you can see the 14 ball, and I don't think he's looking for a shot on the 14 ball. But
No, if he doesn't make that bank, he's selling up the 8 and or the 3.
looks like he might be looking at that 15-2. Something in the stack to see what he can push over in front of his hole. He's going to bank the
4-3?
4-3 and stop the cue ball right there. Oh no, he followed it forward.
He protected the 3 in doing so.
Yep.
So we may see Johnny do something with.
Well, he better check to see if the 3 ball's froze, because I would be kicking at the 3 ball underneath, very soft, just to hit it and save a scratch.
That's what he's looking at.
Yep.
And he asked him, that's why Corey asked, is it froze? And he says, yep. Going off the deuce to the bottom rail.
13. 13 maybe?
Deuce or 13, one or the other. See,
You're always right.
that's because I can't see and I'm guessing.
And you know my guesses are wrong majority of the time.
Well, you don't play this game as much as
I don't.
you should. The trick would be, and the advantage would be, if you were able to call the shots and then explain why he shot what he did. Well, it's a defensive shot. Corey's probably going to shoot this and probably come right back into the stack.
13 off the 2 toward his pocket.
No. See?
Oddly enough, I saw that one.
I didn't. I was thinking he'd probably just cut the 13 up and open the 2 ball out and put the cue ball right back up against the 12-15. Again, holding him tight to the rack, but he did actually, well, I don't know that he did better, because I believe John can, oh, maybe he can't.
Folks, if you're in the Vegas area,
So
I can
kick this 13 ball real soft.
I can assure you this building will be full of action tonight. We just have one of our Vegas high rollers walk through the door, and he's got his eyes on this table like a hawk. JRB, Mr. John Robert. I think he was on like season 2 or season 4 of Survivor.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a movie star in the crowd?
TV star, yeah.
TV star,
He's-
okay.
He's been on TV a handful of times. He's been on some of those Poker After Dark shows as well.
Oh, gotcha.
Big gambler.
And we have a pool player that plays a lot of poker, Mr. Costello. You've seen him on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think, didn't he open up today's match at noon?
He did, yes.
he
he
did.
played Steve Lingelbach.
He's actually a poker player. Plays pool as a, well, he plays pool very well. But first and foremost, he says he's a poker player.
That even I didn't know. I see the guy up here all the time.
Maybe he's pulling my leg, so I'll play him pool.
I don't know. Might be.
I like Ian's game, especially at one pocket.
Yeah. He's so quiet, you just don't expect it. And he
That's why
just
I
comes
call
at you like a silent assassin.
So I call him the undercover man.
Mm-hmm. So what is Johnny gonna do?
I think he might just play that 9 ball and bring the cue ball to the bottom part of the table against the lower. Freeze it to the bottom rail.
I've noticed in the last 2 innings the tide has turned a little bit. Balls are now more favoring Corey, and Johnny left defending. So, like you said earlier, very much a chess match, this game.
Balls are making their way up table, and that actually plays into John's favor, since he has the lead. He only needs 4. There's 4 balls that could possibly go to his hole if he gets a shot on one of them. Corey needs 8. If Corey gets loose and runs 5 balls that are in the bottom part of the table, that's not enough to get him out.
Uh-oh.
And uh-oh is right. With John needing 4, being the pro that he is, great pocketing skills, he'll pocket this, draw it, and have shape on the 1.
Come down for the 5.
Come down for the 5, and finish those balls out right there. He might just pick off the 1 and the 13, but I think he gets on the 1 here and then gets down for the 5. Depending, of course, what his angle is on the 1. Perfect. Perfect.
You see him looking at the 5 ball. He does want to come slightly below the 5. He wants the cue ball, I believe, to track into the 9 to cause some separation with the 9, 15, and 12.
Yeah, he wants to get below it.
He will need, assuming he pockets this and the 5, he'll need 1 more after that. So he's going to need to create some kind of separation with those 3. If he chooses to use one of those 3 as his final ball.
Well, he either gets down. See, the 3 ball is a dangerous ball.
Yeah, he won't be banking that, I don't think. It's frozen, and he's got other options. He may have to just pocket the 5 and shoot that 3 out of there.
He might shoot the 5 and come back and try to break those balls.
Could do that as well, yeah.
Because he just needs, what, 1 after that?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the angle to come back up table to play the 11 or 13, whatever that is up there. 13.
Yeah, he did try to break him, but he hit the wrong side of the 9. Got on the wrong side.
Good news for Johnny. He's got
That's
a
nice bank shot.
decent bank shot on offer here. Yep.
You better make it, because Corey's been known to run 8 balls.
Yes, he has. He's not going for it. He's going to spin the 9 and put the cue ball behind that 3 ball. Shows a lot of discipline.
And
I know I'd have been going for a bank.
no, that was definitely the correct shot.
Hence why I would have gone for the bank.
You're just,
I don't take the right shot.
If you go for the bank, you're just challenging Corey to run out or hurt you with 4 or 5 balls at a time.
I'm going to bank that in a manner to where I leave it in the jaws if I don't make it. Making it a little tougher on Corey, but he could likely figure something out.
The ball froze. It's going to be tough. Plus, if you bank it with speed, your cue ball heads to the upper right-hand corner pocket. Anytime you have a ball right around the first diamond and you bank it.
I wouldn't be banking the 3.
Oh.
I would have been banking the 9 or the 15.
Gotcha.
And just kind of playing at pocket speed. If I don't make it, I'm definitely giving up that 3 ball. But I'm hoping if I don't pocket it, I'm leaving it in the jaws, essentially making it nearly impossible for Corey to get out of.
Gotcha. I misunderstood. I was thinking we were down playing position for the 3 instead of breaking the balls open. The 3 ball was to bank later. My mistake.
I may have misspoken.
No. It was me altogether.
He's got that cue ball down. That shot right there. He did that earlier, too.
Sure.
It's a good-looking shot. You feel like it's going to take off, and then it just checks up.
Is he going to shoot this shot?
Why not? Corey says, why not? He said, I get to break if we win this game anyway.
Yeah. No, he wins the match if he makes that ball.
No, I was saying Corey.
Oh.
Corey can say to himself
his
that
cue
if
ball.
even if he missed and Johnny was to win the rack, Corey's still going to get to
Break
and yeah, try to hold control for the last back.
Oh, don't count Corey out.
No, no, no. Definitely not.
I would not cut him out of this game, especially where the cue ball is right now. He might bank this 14 again. 15, excuse me. The one by the 8.
Mm-hmm.
He might bank it again. Although, yeah, he is. He doesn't have a shot afterwards if he makes it.
He did make it. He's going to just take him one ball at a time. Which, when you're down 7-0, it's probably the smartest plan.
I'm not sure if he can pocket that 14 or not. If those balls go,
Oh, the 9 passed.
oh
I didn't think the
my.
9
I
passed the
didn't
14.
either. I thought they were both locked up.
And how
So
about
he'll
that?
get both of these.
If it comes down to it, does that 13-15 go? Or 13-12? I can't. 13-12?
It's lined up close. He could be able to cut the 13 a little bit, or cut the 12 ball a little bit with the 13 and pocket it. More than likely, he would probably bank the 8 and use the 13-12 to protect it in front of the pocket.
Is he going to come across the side pocket 2 rails?
No, he's trying to break this ball out. That's really aggressive and very
Wow.
well done. That's,
Wow.
Oh, wow. What a nice shot.
Yes, it
This
was.
shows you the power of these guys. You know, the cue ball control that they have, and they're not shy about shooting a fairly, difficult shot and getting good position. He can come across this ball with a little draw and get the cue ball up for the 8 or the deuce. Probably the deuce before the 8.
We could see a tie ball game here.
And that's precisely why I said don't count Corey out. His cue ball control is just amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Look how beautifully done
Wow.
that was.
How many people would have thought to go that way and not
2
try to
rails.
hold it 1? And holding it 1 rail wasn't going to happen. That's why he hit it the way he did. That was much smarter, tougher shot than he made it look like. Very intelligent shot. Does he play position on the 3, or does he just do
No.
all he can to make the 2 or the 8
Just
ball?
pocket the ball. Leave it in the jaws if you miss it. I don't think he'll try to break the 3 ball out. Yeah, I didn't think so. Pocket speed so you can't return the bank. He actually has a shot here if he chooses
4
to
rails?
shoot it. No, I would not 4 rail it. If he was a little further down, he could probably kick the ball. It's not a bad shot, but he won't. He'll just play position here. He'll just play safe. Leave it in an unbankable spot. He hasn't.
It's cross bankable.
No, I think it double kisses.
Or scratches, yeah.
I've seen players try to cross banks like this, and it doesn't go well for them. Softly, there you go.
Good shot there from Johnny. Checking to see if it's frozen or not.
I would just cut it as thin as possible and come right back over where I'm at, where the cue ball is now. He's looking at to see if it's froze. John might go for this one.
He just took a look at the line down to his hole. Looks like he is going to go for the cross and try to draw to avoid the double kiss and the scratch.
This ball can lose him the game and lose him the match.
He heard you. He heard you. What would you do here if you were in this position? Your opponent needs one ball to cinch the match.
I would just roll up to it and keep the balls together there. Make sure I don't give up a bank. Just do not give up a bank. Just like that. He's giving up a bank. It's a kick bank.
Oh yeah, we saw that last match, didn't we? Ian.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Ian that shot that shot. Maybe it was Corey. I can't remember.
Will he shoot it or will he not? He might not shoot it because he can give up a return bank if he hits it poorly.
You don't ever concern yourself with a scratch on this shot?
Yeah, it could scratch. He gets too far beneath it, it could scratch. See how nice he hit it? He's giving up that return bank.
Yep, Johnny going to cross bank this one.
I believe so.
We saw Johnny, I believe, finished, I'll double check, I think 3rd place in our bank pool competition. 3rd or 4th. 7th, 8th, sorry. And Johnny had a pretty good showing there. A little bit high.
Corey took a calculated risk and it paid off. He got a free shot. Now he'll, I think he'll two-rail this. He's going to kick this ball for the win. Or he's just
I
gonna
almost
kick it
said that
soft.
too, but I didn't think it was right. He's going to sell it. Oh, he's okay.
Playing with fire. 2
He
shots
is.
in a row. But he's not shy about shooting, I guess.
Johnny going for distance, or is he going
3
for,
rails
for
probably.
2?
Or is he just cutting it over and going 2 rails with the cue ball? Yep, that's it.
That's great cue ball control. Excellent.
That cue ball
Pretty much took
against
away-
the rail is nice. See,
I'm sorry. Good.
no?
I was going to say, he
Took
took
away
away
what?
that 2-railer. Essentially, I mean, he could
Mhm.
bank foot rail, head rail, and then back down again. But when you can't see the whole or the whole cue ball, it just makes it that much tougher.
Now, I don't agree with that shot whatsoever. He should have banked that ball up by where the chalk is in the head of the table.
And Johnny with another
Shot number 2.
cross
Good
bank
shot number 2,
opportunity.
yeah.
Look for this one to go in, or at least threaten the pocket a little more so than the last one. It's very similar to the shot he just had, so he can make any minor adjustment needed to correct what little bit he was off on. And did I call it? Bingo.
Yes, you did. Bingo.
We're tied up at 2 racks apiece. We're hill. Corey Deuel's going to be breaking rack number 5. Once again, folks, take a look at the graphics across the top of your screen. Big shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors involved in making this happen. All 3 of these events.
Yes.
Mr. Jay Helfert.
Visit their sites. What was that?
JayHelfert.com. We've got KamuiBrand.com.
That's right,
We've got
that's right.
GriffsLV.com. The Cyclop one I don't have off the top of my head. And we've got JBCases.com. Discount Custom Apparel, you can visit them at DCAShirts.com. Predator is going to be Predator Cues and or PredatorGroup.com. And obviously for CSI, we've got CueSportsInternational.com as well as PlayBCAPool.com.
I don't see the website for Cyclops.
I don't think we have it in our reference sheet. You know what? We've got a player break right now. Johnny Morra is going to use this opportunity to use the restroom. And while he's doing that,
You gonna find it?
I will break out my
Handy little
inner
internet thing?
technology.
Yeah.
Cyclop dash, oh, it just disappeared. Cyclop-billiards.com. CYCLOP-billiards.com.
And keep in mind it's Cyclop, not Cyclops.
Correct. It's one Cyclop.
I think the first year I started doing commentary, I used to say Cyclops balls.
I
And
think
was
you did too.
corrected
I think
3
I
or
may
4
have seen.
times.
I think I may have seen seen that.
3 or 4 times I was corrected. It is Cyclop. Oh, I see. It is 5x4.
Yeah, off screen, I went ahead and pulled up the Cyclop Hyperion pool ball set because it actually comes with an extra row. It's got an extra 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, and cue ball.
Pretty good looking, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, visit the site, take a look at those balls.
Pretty sharp looking
And
set.
the 2 cue balls, it has the regular, oh no, it's 2 cue balls, period, all together.
Yep, got the same cue ball. They've got circles on one side and rectangles on the other. So you got a backup ball in case one gets damaged, or you want to play, 3 cushion or something like that. Maybe that's what the 8, 9, and 10, the extra 8, 9, and 10 ball, you could possibly use those for 3 cushion, no?
Use one of them for the 3 cushion as the red ball?
Yeah.
Well, 3 cushion balls are bigger than pool balls.
Are they?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
What are they, 2.5?
I'm not sure. I think they're 2 3/8.
2 3/8?
They're a little bigger and they're heavier.
I see.
Beautiful game of 3 cushion. That's one discipline that Mr. Van Bonen does not have.
Do we have? Are there any U.S. Open 3 cushion title or championships?
I don't know, but they're playing some right now in Tucson.
Seems to be played a lot in Tucson.
Oh yeah, well, yes.
July 17th through the 27th at the Rio Hotel and Casino. We've got a handful of events.
A good friend of mine actually does a lot for pool down in Tucson.
Oh yeah?
And with CueSports International. He's held a couple of events.
Who's that? Anybody that the stream viewers might recognize?
Paul Feldman.
Oh yes.
Okay.
We got junior and senior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I was getting at, the 17th to the 27th of July at the Rio, we've got the USA Pool League National Championships and the BCA Pool League World Championships at the Rio.
You know, I want to do a little shout out to a little team from Tucson, Arizona.
All right. Put that plug in.
They actually won the World Championship BCA Pool League as a team in, I forget which division it was, but they are world champions. Aaron Purdy, Ronnie Kidd, who else was on that team? Jeremy Ross. I forget is it Wade? I think Wade is on
Wade
the
Whitaker?
team. Yes, no, not Whitaker.
Not Whitaker.
Is it Rhea?
I'm not sure.
But they actually last year won the BCA Pool League World Championships.
Well, if Aaron and Ronnie were on that team, they're both, I mean, Ronnie's about a 6'60" player. Aaron's probably 6'20", 6'30", maybe even higher. I would have to imagine that unless the other 2 or 3 players on their team were extremely low handicap,
Five-ish.
I would have to imagine that they were in the platinum.
I don't think there was a platinum. I think it was the lower division. I'm not sure which division it was.
I think we had a team from Tucson that won, or from...
Use your phone.
Yeah, I could pull that up, yeah. I think we had a team from, Tempe that won like the standard division as well. Either way, back to the match.
But a shout out to those boys.
Yes. Both players back and ready to go. We are tied up. This is rack number 5. We're racing to 3. The finals will be a race to 4. Our next match following this one on our feature table, scheduled for 40 minutes from now. We're going to see Alex Pagulayan versus local young gun Mitch Ellerman. Today is would have been Mitch's late father's birthday. Rest in peace to that gentleman. Sorry, folks. My co-commentator had a sneeze attack that took over before we could kill the microphone. So Corey, trying to figure out his plan of attack here. Likely be seeing a bank shot on the 5. 3 ball, excuse me. 3 and the 5 are similar color to a colorblind person such as myself. Oh, he held the 3 up in his pocket. Was fortunate not to sell it a shot for a combination on the 4-5.
Fortunate or planned to
Yeah,
park that cue ball right there?
I almost had to retract what I said there. That was probably by design.
Yeah.
Lots of two-way shots in this game.
Especially when you can stop the ball up against another ball.
It looks as though he's got it frozen to 2. If he's stuck on the 6 and the 4, he's really limited on what he can do.
Let's see what John does here. He's in a really, really bad spot.
This is a very bad spot.
But they're tied, so, you know. It almost looks like he wants to kick at the 1 ball. He's trying to find it.
Can't blame Johnny for taking his time here. He's certainly not stalling or anything along those lines. He's got a big puzzle to figure out here. One shot could cost him potentially the match.
What division is this?
It's the men's 8-ball, or the mixed 8-ball gold division.
So, yeah, it's not the platinum.
Wow. What a shot. Even Corey says super shot. That cue ball was frozen in between the 6 and the 4. He kicked the cue ball in between the 1 and the 9, back toward his pocket, and then back toward Corey's pocket.
Two-railed it.
That's
what he was doing. That's why I said it looks like he's kicking at the 1 ball.
That was incredible.
And for him to two-rail that ball was an excellent, excellent shot.
Yeah, that was the mixed 8-ball gold team division, representing Tucson Pockets Pool Room.
Can we get that 4th player on there? Or the 5th player? Here we go. I can get him now. Well, I guess I can't get him.
I'll take care of the technology side, George.
Thank you. Well, Corey's dumbfounded there. What a great shot John made. Double kicking. And look at what Corey finds.
Jeez. Gosh.
Now he'll either cut the 10 or he'll two-rail the 8.
They actually had a 6-player roster that year.
Yeah, they had an extra, I remember.
Ronnie
that.
Kidd, Aaron Purdy, Wade Bryant, Jeremy
Bryant.
Ross,
That's what I was thinking of.
Eric Yagla,
Eric Yagla, he's the bartender at Pockets.
and James Leonard. So congratulations to you, gentlemen.
World champions.
Yeah.
Actually, they display their trophy at Pockets.
And that's something nobody's ever going to be able to take away.
And keep in mind, a 6 p.m. match, if it goes a little longer here, will take a little longer. This could end pretty quick because we have 36 minutes to finish this game. And the winner of this game will move on and stay in the winner's side. The one that loses this game will go to the one-loss side. He's going to go for the cut on the 10. Actually, he's just going to put it in front of the hole. Get away from there. He did not want to do that. He wanted it all the way to the rail if he missed it. He could just... Yes, he can. He could go to the bottom rail and come off the rail into both balls. Oh, he's going to want to make sure he hits a 10 ball. Softly. Not hard. I don't think he'll do it hard.
So in the midst of my research on last year's BCA Pool League World Championships, we had the gold division, Team Tucson, the standard division right below them. First place, Team Tempe.
And what? And didn't Dennis and Dennis
Weasel,
Orender and
Chris Adams.
Chris Adams.
Yeah, I'll look for them in just a
yeah.
moment too. But yeah, Chris Baginski, Mike Chapa Jr., Tony Circa, Brandon Langen, and Alex Dodora from representing the Tempe area. I've got a bunch of world champions in Arizona.
I don't think he'll try to spin this one ball back into the 10. I think he'll go off the 9 and put the cue ball up against the 11 and the 6.
I think he shoots the 9 off the 4 into the side rail and back toward his pocket.
And where does the 6 go?
You know, you're too advanced for me, George.
You have to figure when if you're moving pieces, you have to know where they go, because if they go towards your opponent's hole, you don't want to shoot it.
Yeah, and it looks like if he does go that route, the 4 pushes into the 6,
Yes.
the 6 pushes into the 13, and ends up in a fairly decent spot toward that right-hand rail. Although, he's queuing on that 9. What's he doing?
Going underneath it and going up against the stack, I think.
Took
He
my
played
shot.
with your shot.
He took
And look
my
at this.
shot, George, and
How
it's
do you
going to
like
cost
taking
him.
this? It's going to cost it. It could cost him the match.
No, I think we're going to get another camera angle here
That's
in a moment.
very, very dangerous. What a risky shot. I'm surprised Corey shot that. Especially at this juncture of the match.
I think we're going to switch camera angles here. There we go, just to get a better look at that 9 ball. It goes.
John's thinking, actually Corey's kind of fortunate that the 1 ball doesn't go by the 9. He's gonna, I'm not sure he can bank this.
Did he
this
get low
10
enough?
ball. I'm not sure he got low enough. If he did, his cue ball is going to go into the 215 and have shape for the 11.
I think he just got low enough. If he plays the outside of the 10 with a bunch of inside English, I think he can check it up.
John's showing us he can bank.
It's
If
risky.
this ball goes in, he could win the game.
If he doesn't make it, he's selling out the 1.
Yeah.
And look at that. He would have had position, and boy, he could have picked off.
I'm telling you.
That could have been it right there if that ball dropped. He could have easily picked off 5 or 6 more. But
Wow. Well, Corey has an opportunity here, but he hasn't made this ball yet.
is he just going to sacrifice the 10 here?
I would.
Corey doing a quick little ball count. I think he realizes that he's up a ball at the moment. So in pocketing this,
He'll be up a ball.
tie the match. And he played the.
Down, I almost scratched.
No. He's playing with John. He's playing that hook. And he says, I almost scratched. I think he still has another 1/4 inch to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the slate,
Yeah.
the shelf from here. So is this 6 off the 7? Similar to the shot that Corey played with the 9?
No.
Nope.
John's not that risky. He's going to be careful. He knows where he's at here. This 11 ball does go 2 rails, but it gives up a bank if he doesn't hit it firm enough. And there's, he's not playing shave for it, so why shoot it? You're risking the game for a ball.
Yeah. That's a good point.
He's playing the 6 ball into the 4, take them both away. No, he just played the ball up to move balls away from John's side. And he did. He moved the 13 away and the 8 away.
And folks, if you're,
Unfortunately,
sorry.
blocked the 4-ball.
If you're following along at home, or if you want to check the brackets, check out ctsondemand.com. We are updating that remotely, so we're actually sending the scores to our scorekeeper. As far as I know, there's only one match outstanding at the moment, and I can let you guys know that Mitch Ellerman did win that match against Paul Marquez, and he will be playing Alex in our next feature match.
On the rail, John. Get that cue ball down on the rail. You could have done better there.
So Corey, likely you're just going to send this 6-ball up table. Turn this into an up table game, which I believe will favor Corey at the moment. He's up on ball count as well, so taking balls up table will be to the advantage of Corey.
It requires more moving.
Mm-hmm. And it's only going to allow Johnny to possibly pick off one at a time rather than running multiple.
And you know, I say that it requires more moving, but John's showing us he can move.
Yeah, he
John's
really
showing us
has.
He can move well, and he's also showing his cue ball control
Mm-hmm.
is rather on the great side too.
Uh-oh. Look out for the deuce.
I don't think the deuce goes by.
I think Corey's going to waste no time firing that 2.
Okay, I think you're right. He's firing it.
He'll be right back on the 15 for the next shot. That's a great angle right there.
Mm-hmm. It does go by.
Yep. This could be trouble for Johnny Morra.
Draws this and gets on the 9. 8, excuse me. I don't know why.
You know, if he gets shape on the 9 from here, George,
He's great.
that's...
It's under the table. The 9's on the ball rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. But no, he could draw this and get shape on the 8. I think. Can you draw that ball
Yeah,
enough,
I think he
Nick?
can avoid that side pocket. Yeah, he can snatch that back pretty nicely.
Needs 4. 4 for the match. He was able to come back. He survived a big mistake there.
Yeah, Johnny wants that one back.
No, didn't bother try to get on the 14. Didn't want to draw back with that extreme draw that it would have taken. I'm not sure he could have. You know, that's why I kind of said, can he? I knew he could beat the side pocket.
Yeah, he didn't even try to. He stayed below the side. Used some spin to try to get up underneath that 14. He's under it, but he's backwards under it.
Made it? No, he didn't.
Huh. It looked good.
Will John take it out or just give it up?
I don't know. I think getting that ball out of there is tough. You don't want to put your opponent within 2 balls of closing out the match, but
Well, you don't have much choice.
yeah.
I think I'd give it up, just like John is.
If I was Johnny, I'd reply, I almost scratched. just to poke a little bit. I don't think either player at the moment are in a joking mood.
I think I would cross the 7 ball over by the 8 and bring the cue ball all the way down to the bottom rail on John's side. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Either way, my purpose for doing that was to give distance and to put a ball over to my side away from his. He removed the ball from John's side, and so he's done a good job. And he's actually effectively removed both balls from John's side and had John help him.
Yeah.
So that's how much smarter was that?
Kind of forced John to shoot
Yeah.
one of his own.
How much smarter was that? Corey will probably, well, there's several things he can do. He can either play the play the 6 ball over or the 13 over and bring the cue ball by the side pocket, the 4 by the side pocket. Matters not, just to get over there someplace and keep everything open.
Mm-hmm.
This is where he's moving balls. He's playing position for balls. He's putting them in the right places. So the 4 ball banks, the 12 ball banks. John's gotten rid of one of them.
Pretty good distance.
The 11 ball banks. But it could, if it nibbles the 6, it goes to John's side.
I think we're going to see Corey thin the right side of that ball,
Yeah,
send
he
it
just
toward the 7.
Come down. Yeah, he's not going to
Oh,
go
he didn't
for
hit it as hard as I thought he would.
Says, I'm not taking that. Well, by coming down, it might, you know.
Leave a
on the
bank.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
leave a bank. So coming straight across, that works too.
Johnny doing a really good job of repeatedly getting that cue ball
Distance.
distance back
Yeah.
down table.
I like distance. See, Corey leaves it up there on top, but I like distance.
I don't think Corey liked the way those balls were sitting. So he figured I'll just kind of punch into them and break them open a little bit and see if he can come up with something better for a shot down the road.
Well, so what Corey's doing is he's put him in the corner where John has no shot to bank him. He's scratched. Oh my. Wow. Wow. Thought that was gone.
I was going to say, Corey's got nothing to shoot at, but a ball would have spotted. Corey would have had a spot
Yeah,
shot.
would have had a spot shot.
Let's try there.
Will he bank it? Or will he just take it out? If he just takes it out, he's got to get his cue ball out of there because he does not want to give up a bank shot on the 11.
Now, would you? I think I'd. Nope, not even going to say it. He's going the other route.
He's going for this bank shot.
He must be drawing down table. I can't see him attempting this if it was going to possibly risk leaving that 13. He did pretty well, I think.
I will say there's a risk in that bank shot where you double the corners and the ball goes to your opponent's pocket. Just be aware that it is, you know, that it does exist. So you won't be surprised when it happens if it happens. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just double the corner, it goes right over. Just bang, bang, boom. Right over.
It would not surprise me to see Corey play the 4 ball up near the 7, back down toward the 13.
You mean
Yeah.
back cut it?
Back cut, cross bank, yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Essentially shoot the 4 toward the center diamond to the right at head table, kind of by the diamond logo, the blue badge on the rail. Closest to the 7 ball, bank back down toward the 13. That might be a foolish shot. I'd run my cue ball. Well, I don't know where I'd run my cue ball. I think I'd run it forward just to create distance and not leave a dead bank if I was to miss. Folks, you can probably tell I'm not much of a one-pocket player.
This is a tough place to be right here because he wants to do something to protect his 13 ball. Doesn't want to expose it so it can be taken out or banked. He's doing something with the 4. He might be doing what you suggested. This could kiss.
He did exactly what I was thinking. And he
And-
played the cue ball nicely, too. He ran it forward to take away any easy bank shot for Morra. And where the 4 landed, he's essentially taken away any bank shot for Johnny. But
He's got a
Johnny could simply bank this 4 into the backside of the 13 and clear them both out.
He glanced at that 8, but not for very long. Not for very long. There's no future. I think he's got to take these balls out. Well, he keeps looking at it.
He wants to. He wants to fire it.
I'm not with you here, Johnny. I suggest you take out the 4-13. Hit the 4 to the bottom rail and move both balls out. Stop the cue ball on the bottom.
Now he's looking back down table.
He's going to have to elevate for that because he needs to draw on the ball. And he's, what, 8.5 feet away?
Yep.
He says, I'm going to do it soft. He's going to cross it.
Corey might just, I don't know.
If he can see the 11, he would be banking at it.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll play the 4
I
in
don't think he can
between
see it.
the 11 and 12 back down, similar to the shot he just had. He does want to protect those two.
Well, looks like he's going after the 8 ball.
Yep. Would he pocket that ball from here? Yep.
Answered your question. Answer is yes.
That puts Johnny in a trap. Or a funny spot anyway. I won't say trap, but what do? Do you back cut this ball? Do you cross bank the 4? Yeah, whatever you do, you're...
I kicked the 13 real soft.
It's the simple shots like that that I just completely overlook. It's the right shot. It's almost the obvious shot. And here I am trying to figure out some sort of crazy aggressive way. And you really don't need to. Everything I do is high risk.
Well, it doesn't get him anything, but it contains him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just doesn't give him much to shoot at.
2 rail to 13.
You know something? I'm pretty crazy with this
2
shot.
rail to 4.
I actually shoot shots like this, but you can't do it from here because he's close to the rail. 2 rail the 8. Long rail, head rail, back towards the pocket.
Might be doing that.
I think he's just going to cross it. I think he's just going to cross it and use the 8 ball for a blocker to protect those balls. Yeah. And I think he's exposed too much of the 8. Let's see what John does here. If he's aggressive, he cuts the 8.
I think he cuts the 8 in a manner that if he misses, it's nearly in the jaws, but he stays below the 4 and the 13.
No, he's not going to cut it soft. He's going to go ahead and run up into those balls. He cuts the 8 to make it. So he'll go ahead and run into those balls. He cuts the 8 to make it.
Yeah, I felt like he was going to stay below those.
If you try to float those and hit the ball that soft, you're not going to have the speed on the 8 to make it, so you're just taking a chance on selling out and not making the ball. Yeah, there are certain times you just, because if he misses it, he's still going to be safe, unless he hits it thick and scratches. Other than that, he was probably okay because of the speed. He's going to run into those balls. He's playing this ball. No, he's not. Okay, I thought he was playing this ball. I said, well, how's he going to hold his cue ball? Because he kind of gave it a couple of strokes like he was winding up.
Yeah, he had a
Pretty
quick backstroke there on his pre-shot.
He's tied up 2 balls for Corey, so the only ball he has to worry about selling out is that 11.
Is he kicking the back of the 4 here?
I think he's just going up and down.
Oh my
Called
gosh.
it. You called it.
Are you serious, Corey Deuel?
What a great shot.
Gosh.
What a great shot.
Even the rail, people on the rail over here just showing their appreciation. I don't know if you could see or hear it on stream at all, but we got a couple of snaps and a couple of people over here. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
That was a good shot, and he's shown us he can kick extremely accurately on those long rail shots.
So this is kind of do or die for Johnny, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure that he just makes if he makes the 4-ball for him, you know.
You take the 11 ball and just rocket it toward the 4, pocket the 4 and clear the 11.
He doesn't have much choice to just pocket the 4, not the 11. Just go ahead and just pocket the 4.
Okay.
Because the 11 blocks the 13 ball blocks the 11 from banking.
I thought that stripe, the 11 ball, I think it's the 11.
It's okay, the 11's at the head of the table.
Okay, whatever the stripe is toward
Yeah,
the middle
I
table, I
understand.
thought that
knew
was.
I knew what you were talking
I thought that
about.
was in the path of that object ball in the lower left.
Okay.
I thought he was forced to play that combo if he wanted to pocket the ball that was in the jaws. I didn't know that he had a clear path.
Yeah, it looks like he had a clear path. And
So then that must be the 13 if that's the 11 up table.
And this is for the match. Wow. He's parked it again. So right here, what you have to do is bank this ball, the 13, bank the 13, bring your cue ball to the middle of the table so that you can make the 7 and scratch. You have to make the bank shot. Unless you're sure you can take it out, you have to make the bank shot, then make the 7 and scratch.
We've got our next contestants for the feature table standing by, ready to go. Looks like we will stay on schedule as planned.
Now he's always going to jump the table.
He hasn't looked at it. He hasn't even looked at it. You may agree, you probably will disagree with what I'm about to ask you. In a scenario like this, when if Johnny was to say, look at Corey and say, hey, I'm going to fire this ball off the table. I almost feel like, given the crowd and the people around and the potential for hitting somebody or hurting something, I almost feel like, okay, pocket that ball, like just spot the 2 and take the ball in hand, rather than make him shoot it and jump something off the table and possibly, hurt somebody or hurt some equipment.
He's got to scratch.
Yeah.
He's got to make it a scratch or take it out.
And that may be foolish. I don't know.
Well, if he jumps it, the ball's probably not going to go more than 3 feet from the table in the air.
Well, me personally, I'm going to make sure that I get those balls launching. So if that means I have to overhit it just to make sure, I'm going to do that. And I've put holes in drywall before firing balls off the table. I've broken jukeboxes. A lot of craziness can happen when you're sending potentially 2 object balls flying off the table.
At this point, you send it off the table.
Yeah.
That's the match.
That's going to do it. John Morra concedes. Corey
Shake
Deuel
hands.
wins. Great match from both players.
Coming up next will be Mitch Elderman and
Alex Pagulayan.
The Lionizer game.
10 minutes from now. So we will have our next 2 players come in and get familiar with the table. I'm Ben Sutherland, joined by George Teache. We'll see you in 10 minutes, folks. Thank you.